This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting, proudly sponsored by Empire Fight Store. Today I'm very lucky, joined by Alexis Dimitri. Alexis, it's nice to meet you for the first time. How are you?
Good, thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
So this is a whole new world for you, isn't it, Alexis? Kind of venturing out into the YouTube world. I know you're down at London Street Fighters. How's it been coaching KSI?
Yeah, JJ's been an absolute pleasure. He's a super hard-working guy, listens really well, and just wants to work really hard. So, the coach's dream.
Certainly. Does he work just as hard as all the other fighters down in the gym?
Yeah, no, he's one of the hardest guys in the gym,
really?
Bar none, yeah. I mean, everything we do is a competition in the gym. So he's competing against guys that have won world titles in boxing, and he's smashing it, doing great.
Who's he been training with down there? Michael Venom Page? What other fighters has he been training with apart from him?
He's trained with lots and lots of pro boxers, lots of pro MMA fighters. We get him training with some of the amateurs as well, who are throwing kind of ragged punches and like a bit more aggressive. And then that's kind of, for the level that he's boxing at, he's going to need those kind of style of fighters that are going to be trying to kill him. And then we've also got him doing sharp rounds with good amateur boxers to hone his boxing skills in as well.
Okay, that sounds pretty good then. So I think the question a lot of people will be asking is, why would KSI, who's going to a boxing match, why would he pick an MMA team to train with?
Yeah.
Can you answer that for me, please?
Yeah. Well, we're not actually an MMA team. We actually have lots of boxers. And we actually coach high-level boxing. So I was head coach for Usyk against Derek Chisora. And I also coached David Hayter his career as undefeated cruiserweight and heavyweight world champion. Those are some of the high-level boxers. But obviously, we coach loads of other boxers. I've coached Dylan White as well. So we and Olympians and national champions at amateur level. I think
you got quite a good resume.
Yeah, It's just that we don't try and get involved into the boxing scene only because we have so many other fighters. So we've got over 100 fighters on our books that we coach and manage. So it's I think a coach's job, and I'm doing these interviews because obviously this is the kind of game we're in, but we try not to. It's a fighter that should be interviewed. It's a fighter that gets paid. It's a fighter that gets all the risks, not us. So it's kind of that. It's a rare thing for us to be on camera and doing this, but it's a pleasure to be here and to be part of it. And to be fair, there's no real difference in the training at all. JJ's an absolute killer. He's been in really, really hard rounds. He's boxing really smart. He's the best he's ever been, fittest he's ever been, strongest he's ever been, best he's ever looked weight-wise. So, everything's gone really well.
That sounds quite good then. Is there anything you've noticed about, we'll start with this actually, what's the biggest change you've noticed in KSI from the start of training him to the end of the training him? The start of camp to the end of camp?
Yeah, the biggest change is that he understands why he's doing certain things. So when it comes to boxing, anyone can look $1 million on the pads. That's not my job. I mean, he's been trained by, his last fight he was trained by lots of different teams and people.
Nadal, Riley, Jeff Mayweather.
I think before that, Mayweather was as well.
Jeff Mayweather,
yeah. And they're great, right? Great fighters and upcoming fighters and trainers. And having them on the pads is one thing. But I think him in the ring more, learning and understanding why. Our style of coaching is a lot more combat-based rather than boxing-based because he hasn't boxed as a kid. He's not a national champion. He hasn't been to the Youth Olympics.
He hasn't got the amateur pedigree.
No, so why treat him like an amateur? What you've got to do is make him feel comfortable in a ring and then understand why he can't step there, why his head can't be down to the right, why he can't do that. Once he understands those things and you answer those questions for him, he understands it and then he won't do it. But if he never understands it, making mistakes is a common thing. So I think the knowledge of actually why you're doing things makes you a much better fighter rather than smashing the life out of pads, which he does really well anyway.
Yeah.
That's not my job. What I'm getting paid for is to make sure he understands where he's safe, how he can attack, what he can get away with, the rhythm and the pace of the fight, and ultimately how to land the shot he needs to land.
Okay, that's quite interesting. See, now he's understanding why he's doing certain things, why he has to move his feet around the ring, why he's got to keep his hands up, just a small basics. But what do you think KSI's biggest strength is in the ring?
Yeah, I mean, the kid's relentless. He's genuinely a nightmare. He won't stop. He's got a spirit and a will that will come for you all the time. And, now his skill level's matching that spirit and will. Like, he's coming up in skill. He's improved massively. So I think, obviously a fight's a fight. He hasn't been in the ring in 3 years and he's going to be super excited. And he's fighting a couple of guys in the same night. So this is all unknown territory for him. I think he's got to get his foot back in it and calm down and work his way up to where he needs to be from a boxing point of view, like first fight to last fight. We've also got to remember that, the excitement factor is going to be a huge angle of this to play. So we've got to have a lot of respect for the guys in front of us. So with Swarms, he's going to be a big, strong man that's going to be throwing big punches. You can't take that lightly,
Certainly. But as a coach, what was your first kind of impression of their announcement they'd be fighting two opponents? Was that at all a concern for you?
No, I've had tournament fights before with lots of guys in the team, and we've had boxing tournament fights where we've won prize fighter with one of our fighters, Yassin El-Machi, who won the UK prize fight, 3 fights in one night. We've done it before. JJ's got the type of body type, 3 rounds rest, 3 rounds he can do. He's a really fit kid. It's managing yourself during those fights is super important, which he seems to be doing really well. He's sparring national champions. He's boxing undefeated fighters. He's getting knockouts in the gym. He's gone through the rough stuff. He's hurt himself. He's broken his nose. He's broken his hand. He's lived the fight life. You know, so.
How many knockouts is he getting?
A fair few. Yeah.
More than any of the other fighters you're training, or just up there?
No, not more than any of the other fighters, but for a guy, the guys he's knocking out are pro fighters. He shouldn't be knocking them out categorically. No, he shouldn't be knocking them out. But he's got a very hard punch, and he's understanding when he can use it now. So it's a pretty exciting time for him. You know what I mean? But obviously, the risk-reward factor. You go for a knockout punch, you're going to put yourself in danger. You've got to pick the right shot. But you know, like you said, he doesn't have an amateur background, so he's learning on the job, which is a task.
Certainly is impressive. Well, Alexis, considering you haven't done many interviews before, you came across very well here, so I appreciate it. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank
mate.
you. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much.